Welcome back to Awesome Action Toys. Today we're reviewing not one, not two, not three, but 4 Marvel Legends figures, 2 double packs. We have the Executioner and the Marvel's Enchantress here. We have Hulk and Thor from Thor Ragnarok here. Now this is going to be quite a nice review. I'm interested to see how they stand up to the normal acid rain figures I review in terms of articulation and look and aesthetics when they're out of the packaging, but they're looking quite good. So let's look at the packaging first of all. You can see we've got the Executioner rather big and hench there. In fact, he'll go very well with the Vitruvian Hex, I'd imagine. And the Enchantress, is actually really quite hard to get a good paint app on the eyes. I looked at 3 of these and this one was the straightest, and they're still slightly cross-eyed. I'm not sure if you can see that there. On the back, big picture, some info about them. So it's generally your normal Hasbro packaging. Axe is a bit bent in there, but that can be straightened out. Let's look at the box of Hulk and Thor. Hulk looks suitably impressive with his armour and his paint. Thor looks pretty damn good too, and Hulk has his big sort of axe-stroke hammer, and Thor has his hammer as well, and the sword. On the back, some info again. Both are looking quite good, and it's nice to see a helmet for Hulk as well. Okay, I'll be back in 2 minutes once I've unpackaged these from their packaging. Okay, I am back. So, in the Executioner and Enchantress set, we have the Executioner, we have the Enchantress, and we have one accessory, which is the Executioner's axe, the one that was slightly bent in the packaging. First impressions. Enchantress seems a little bit difficult to pose with that ankle joint. Seems to be a bit stiff. That's probably the paint application there. Executioner seems a bit difficult to pose too, because his legs seem quite small for the weight of his substantial girth and size of his body. Okay, so yes, Enchantress is not easy to pose, but she does look alright. Let's look at her first. So, the skirt type thing, which is quite loose, which gives her room to move her legs, which is good. Normal articulation on the shoulders, out, forwards, and the elbows are standard as well. The actual look is quite nice. Hair, not a bad sculpt, but it does limit the movement of the head, which is a shame. The skirt, you probably could work your way down with not water over the hips and off if you wanted, but I think it does look quite good. The hands don't actually turn. You can't physically turn the hands, but you can turn the arms on this. Disappointed the ankle here, because you cannot stand her up properly. This one is really nice. I think I just got unlucky. But this one seems to only go so far, then not want to go further. And the knees are quite loose as well, making the posing more difficult. Yeah, okay, she's standing. Executioner, he does look mean. I do like that sculpt on his head. Pretty good actually head movement up and down, more than I would expect. Shoulders, this is quite soft, which is good, so his shoulders can come up and forwards as you would expect. And there she goes, and his arm comes off as well, but that's not a problem, good for customizing or customizers. Okay, so he is nice. His hands do turn. Very good action on his biceps there. He's got 90 degrees on his left and on his right, which is nice. There's no... oh, there is a waist turn, not a big one. The legs go out, just not very far, restricted by this part here. It's got the double knee articulation, which is good. His joints on the legs could be stiffer, but he does look really quite nice. I actually do like him a lot. And you could remove this too if you wanted to. I think is it glued on? Not I can tell, though it might be a struggle. Might do that with some hot water if you're brave enough to try, but I don't think you'd want to or need to. Underneath, just a plain figure, and his chest just blue colour from what I can see. Okay, so pretty nice. Okay, let's move on to Thor. Thor comes with 3 accessories. So here is Thor. Balls on the ankle, nice articulation, which is good. Double on the knees again, good paint app on him. Shoulders come up, not as far as I'd like. Restricted here. This one doesn't come up actually, because here is stopping it. But the elbow does bend as you would expect. No turn on the wrist, which is disappointing. You have to use the actual arm turn to get that right. Head, not a lot, but he does look pretty good. And his legs come out a fair way to get some masculine, sort of manly, I'm ready for you poses, but pretty good. Okay, what about his? What about the accessories? Well, the Executioner axe is bent. It's just very standard. I'll be repainting that in the future and straightening it to give it a much more realistic metal and leather material bound handle effect. Thor has his hammer, which has got some nice painting actually, some weathering on the metal, looks realistic, and the grip looks good with the two-tone, and the strap here doesn't look bad too. He has a sword which is pretty diabolical in terms of paint, but you put some paint on that, it will look quite nice. He has a cloak, and if I look at him here, I can see a hole here, and a hole here, and it's a tab and a tab, so that means the cloak does attach. It's actually very nice of Hasbro to make one which can be taken off and not just fixed on, because that would really impede the posability and playability of this figure. So the cloak attaches something like this, which does look quite smart, but it's a bit too shiny if you look in the back, so if you want to paint that, you may want to weather that a little bit, add some more depth to it, and take the shine off. Okay, let's come on to the beast of the 2 packages, Hulk. He looks mean. Substantial feet, substantial legs, easy to support his heavy body. Very, very nice. He has ball on the ankles, forwards and backwards as well, but not so much. More side to side than forwards and backwards, pretty good. He has double knees, not too restricted, but a little bit restricted by this his part at the front. That's a bit too stiff to get any real decent poses on that, but he does look good. Shoulder comes up, comes forward as you'd expect. No turn on the wrist, that's only on the Executioner, which is a shame. His arm bends to not quite 90 degrees. This side of the armour, if I'm looking, can be taken off from the back, which is a nice little clip. Okay, that can come off like so. Slide down his hand. Okay, so we get his shoulder to come up on this side as well. Forwards. Bit disappointing with this colouring here. There's no green on him there. Again, the arm bend's not even 90 degrees, but he does look the part. He looks like a mean son of a gun. He looks pretty damn good. He comes with accessories apart from the strap which is taken off. He has his warhammer, which fits on actually quite nicely. I like that. And this rather brutish looking axe, which he can only hold in his right hand because the other one is a closed fist. How easy to get. Just slide that one in. He looks pretty damn good there. Okay, so this is Hulk. I do like him a lot. Pretty good movement in his head. I think probably the Executioner is my favourite out of this bunch, followed by Hulk, Thor, and Enchantress, which is a shame because her joints are so loose she can't physically stand up very well or for long. Let me put this armour back onto Hulk. Let me work this out. How did I do that? Is it like that? Yeah, okay. So that comes on like this. Must push harder. Not as easy as I thought it would be second time round. Okay, that comes underneath. Let's have a look. Okay, there we're on. And then it clips on the back there. Okay, let's put his helmet on and make it look like he's a mean son of a gun. Yeah, that is one mean looking figure. He also worked really well with your Vitruvian H.A.C.K.S along with the very nice execution here. Another thing about execution I've just noticed is the paint app on his forearm on this side is different to the plastic on that side. Okay, so let me straighten out his axe and make him hold that. His wrist turns, which is nice. He's got more rubbery fingers too, so he can open up his hands and his thumb to grab his weapon. I think they gave him the wrist articulation so he can hold his weapons easier. So he can hold the axe with two hands and get a nice effect going on there, which I'm trying to achieve now. Ugh. But sometimes it's not easy, especially on camera. Okay, so he's got that there now. Okay, he does look menacing. He does look good. I swap over the hat. A bit too big for him, but he can nearly pull it off. Okay, so I'm going to set these up with my Legend Studio temple statue and see how they look. Then I'll add in a H.A.C.K.S skeleton afterwards and see how that plays out. So if you've not seen my review for this awesome bad boy here, please do search the rest of my videos. This thing is heavy. I don't want to drop it because it will break. Okay, you can put this up here. Either way doesn't really make a difference. So she could be like a sacrifice or something. And then we have here a H.A.C.K.S skeleton. And then we can have, coming onto the scene, maybe Hulk can climb a stair. Let's see, maybe two stairs. One stair because of his leg articulation. The executioner can be coming from this side perhaps. Again, let's have a look. Can I get him to stay? Maybe not. Okay. And then, if I wanted to, I could put Thor on one side. I'll take off his cloak. Oh no, the skeleton falls down. Just about to finish my little posing here. Thor can stand here, and my skeleton's posing up again. And now I push Thor over. And go there. So you can get yourself quite a nice little setup there. Move this around a bit. Using the Legend Studio temple statue, 2 Marvel Legends, Thor Ragnarok figures, and a H.A.C.K.S skeleton. I hope you like the video. These are worth getting. In fact, before I go, let me see if I can put this hat onto. Maybe too small. Oh, too small. Can't put the helmet onto the executioner. Okay, please like, share, and subscribe. View my other videos for more toy reviews, normally in the 1/18 scale, some smaller, some bigger, sometimes scenery, a lot of them are acid rain, but other lines as well. And I will see you next time I post and share a video. Stay tuned, keep playing, keep collecting, and keep watching awesome action toys on YouTube.